Hey everybody, I hope everybody's having an awesome day and enjoying everything. It's a snow day today, so I'm inside. Didn't go anywhere, not gonna go anywhere. So that's what happened. So for those of you on Long Island snow day, you might not think it was much, but where I am at, it was. Okay, so I read this yesterday in the Wall Street Journal. It was called the CD Ladder. I wanted to make sure I got it out today because I read about it. I'm going to include it in my next book. I wrote a sequel to Missing Treasure already, and so that one is going to have this new thing in it. So I wanted to make sure that I got it in to the book while I was thinking it. And I also wanted to make the video again while I was thinking it. By the way, my shirt says I have six and impossible, and if you don't know what that means, then you can't be my partner. And that's a Spades reference. I got that from Mess, Mess, in a bottle. That is one of the people I buy a lot of clothes from. I support very small businesses all the time, and I never know who's going to watch the video, so I want to make sure that I mention them when I do wear something. So, what I read yesterday was the CD ladder. I don't think this is new. I think this is recycled information that they brought up again because now CDs have very high rates. You can now get a CD, you can get a 16-month and a 9-month at 4.25 APY, which is really, really good. They used to be abysmal, lower than one, but because of the Fed and what the Fed's doing, they're higher. So the issue with CDs, and a lot of them, and this is the thing, and there's very few. The issue with CDs is that there's a penalty when you withdraw from them. And that's how banks make their money. They want to make sure that you keep the CD in there so that they can loan it out. Remember, the rules were this is a very old saying. This scene probably goes to the 50s, if not the 40s and 30s. Somebody put in the comments on what it is. Somebody once asked the question, why do banks close at 3? And the statement was given that what it is that you give interest at 3%, you do loans at 6%, and you're at the golf course at 3 o'clock. The more truth the matter is what banks used to, and very few do, closed at 3, was because it would take 2 or 3 hours for the bankers, for the tellers, to close out the draw and to clarify everything. So if you're working a 9 to 5 job, which you never wanted to pay anybody over working 9 to 5, you have a teller start at 9. You would close the draw at 3, and then you have 2 hours for the teller to balance out their draw to make sure that their money is in so they could leave at 5. And that was a 9 to 5 job. And that's why the banks closed at 3, because you knew it took another 2 hours to count out. It doesn't take that long, much longer anymore, thanks to the computers, but you still have to rectify it. So that's the real reason. But like I said, they want to make sure the money stays in there, so they're giving you a high interest rate to keep the money in as certified deposit so that they can loan it out to other people and make money and get the 3%. And that's true for credit cards and everything else. And you insure it with the FDIC, which you pay a fee to make sure that the money never gets lost and they're covered. So it's guaranteed money, it's guaranteed interest, which has become very attractive, especially since the stock market took a really big hit. But the problem is, a CD is not very liquid, and the savings accounts still don't pay that much. You can find really good rates, but it takes time to take out because it's usually not a physical bank with an ATM that makes it quote unquote easy to get out. So I was reading about the CD ladder, and I wanted to tell people about it because it was important enough for Wall Street Journal, which I always say, you want to be intelligent, read the Wall Street Journal every day and read the New Yorker once a week. That'll give you a conservative perspective and a pretty liberal perspective from the New Yorker. And also very intelligent, well written. Usually they both show both sides. If you want to be extreme, uh, Mother Jones for the liberal point of view and The Economist for the conservative point of view. So that's what you would need to do. So, um, we could do it that way. So the thought is that for this, to make it more liquid, you use what's called a CD ladder. So here's how the CD ladder works. I'm going to make it as simple as possible. I want to use my example. This is not the example they gave in the newspaper, but I think mine is more simplified. Okay, so let's say you have $4,000 and a CD has a minimum of 1,000. So the first thing you do is you make sure there's 1,000 in a savings. Not getting much interest from it, but there's a point. And there's a point to my story. And they don't go over this in the article Wall Street Journal. They say you put 3,000 in their CDs, and that's their example. So mine's different. So what it is that you have 1,000 in the savings. Now, you put another 1,000 in a 3-month CD. You put another 1,000 in a 6-month CD, and you put another 1,000 in a 9-month CD. Common intervals. There are different intervals for the sake of my example. You have one readily available, and you have another that's 6 and 9. So 3 months pass, your 3-month CD is up. Okay, so now you take the money that's in the 3-month, you put it in the savings account that you have. Now you have 2,000, so you're gaining your interest, so you're leveling, and now you have 7 days. Okay, within that 7 days, usually it's a 7-day grace. Sometimes it's shorter. You have 7 days. Now you open up another 9-month CD. Okay, so you leveled it off that you made your daily average for your CD higher by having 2,000, getting a little bit there. And now you opened up another 9-month CD because now your 6-month CD only has 3 months to go. And your 9-month CD only has 6 months to go. And now you'll get another 9. So now, 3 months later, again, you take the money out, you leverage it out to your thing. You got $2,000, you're leveraging out, you're gaining interest on it, not much, but you're able to rotate. And you keep on repeating over and over and over again, 1,000, 1,000, 1,000, 1,000. And of course, you're compounding interest and you're rotating. So every 3 months, you have access to $1,000. Not to mention in your savings, you have access to $1,000, which is more than the average human has. Remember, our goal is, and I go this through my savings all the darn time, 70% of Americans don't have access to $400. And I went over in my gambling thing that I want to make sure that you guys get to the goal of $400 before you do anything and pay off all your credit card debt and all your loans before you do anything. Because let's say you're making 10% in an investment, but your credit card debt is 12. You're losing 2. Let's say your credit card debt is only 8, but you're making 10. You're only gaining 2. You only win when you pay off all your debt because you are not losing any money. You're making pure wealth to reinvest. The math is not that hard. It's just so invisible you don't see it. But when you add it up, you're losing. If you're paying 15% on a credit card and only getting 10% as a rate of return, you're losing 5. Pay it off first. Nothing wrong with investing. Nothing wrong with gambling. I put the gambling challenge because you might get 300% back. I mean, I've got it averaged out that Atlas Earth, which I have to go over with you guys one day, but I keep on telling you it's the only one that you actually make money. Atlas Earth, I'm making 600%, but that's basis on only $5 or $10 that I actually put into it. But the numbers don't lie, and they'll keep on gaining. So, like I said, Atlas Earth, I'm making money back on that. It's not much I'm putting in because of the rules of Atlas Earth, and I never know when it's going to stop. But I am making it's the only game that you actually make back. And I went over how um and I went over how that leaving things alone and just following the process, you make money. And this is it for the CD. This will also work for treasury bonds or any other savings account as long as it's guaranteed. Anything FDIC assured or for the treasuries, which you could get treasury.gov, because you never lose principal. So that this works for things only when you are guaranteed the principal, which usually are only CDs. Treasuries can do it too, but usually they're not that large and it takes longer to get back and forth because of their nature. The CDs are the easiest to withdraw and do the rotation. So I wanted to make sure I talked about the CD ladder. I wanted to make sure I addressed that. Get my book, Coffee and Cash. Get my book, Missing Treasure, Chris Alexinas, Alexinas. Make sure Atlas Earth, like I said, that's the only game that I play that's guaranteed money and it has made me money. It's on my thing, Risky6877. Put in the comments, subscribe to my channel. I didn't do walking today because I was stuck inside the house. I hope everybody had a great day. I hope I wasn't too boring. But this was a really interesting thing to make CDs more liquid and to reinvest and to keep on doing it with guaranteed payoff. Have a great day. Be blessed.